Ben Franklin may well be the man of his age. The period we're talking about here being that of the latter colonies, of course, and about the time of the American Revolution. Particularly for his contemporaries and in the international community, is probably no name better known during this period of time than that of Ben Franklin. Bigger than George Washington or any number of other people you might imagine, presidents and so on, Ben Franklin is the consummate man of his age. He was a man of all things. He was a businessman, an inventor, a writer, and a statesman, a diplomat, and he managed all these things very well. He had a vision for new things and actually became one of the very earliest of people to begin what we think of today as the franchise system. He was a printer, of course, and after he began to get to the point where he wanted to do other things but remain with a hand in the printing business, he set up something like our modern franchise system, where he would actually put someone else in business and supply them with the paper and the inks and those sorts of things, and in return get a little kickback, a commission of sorts, for helping them set things up and keep them in business, which is much how in the same way as our modern franchise system works. So he was a visionary of sorts in that, and he is one of the great thinkers of our time as well, of course, with all his experiments in electricity and all of that sort of thing. As you read through Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, there are several things to note in particular. What is the purpose of this autobiography to begin with? As you look at the opening pages, you'll see that it begins as a letter to his son. And perhaps this was indeed the original intention, as he wanted to tell his son a little bit about his life and his family and all that sort of thing. But it quickly leaves that and becomes something much grander. He does, in fact, write about his life, but it's not just a history of his life, though that's part of it. He also intends it as a sort of inspiration for everyone else. If you look in particular at several parts of the narrative, you'll find this to be the case. Look at the part where he is entering Philadelphia, for example. And he pictures himself in the narrative as this young boy. In fact, he's a runaway teenager, of course. If we make a sort of comparison here, we could see a Benjamin Franklin in modern times showing up at the bus station in some large town as he's run away from his home with no job, no expectations, doesn't know anyone in town. And you have absolutely no reason to expect this person to ever become anything. Well, Franklin was much like this, as he shows up in Philadelphia one day with no friends, no contacts, no money, and yet finds himself some work in a print shop, learns the printing trade, and of course he had already had some experience with his half-brother's printing house before he came there. But he gets himself a job, and slowly, through his own industry, his own hard work, his own labor, comes to own his own print shop and begins to branch out into all these other areas and becomes a very successful businessman, as a man who is successful in very many other walks of life. And he writes this then, he tells us in particular, he gives us this image of him as that poor young boy, this runaway, so that we can see that it's possible to make ourselves into something more than we appear to be. It's a rags to riches story, and that's really the purpose behind it. He wants us to see that we can achieve almost anything if we're willing to work hard for it, set our sights on something, and then go after it with all our hearts. He is perhaps the best known writer of autobiography in all the world. If you were to read American literature in Russia or in China or some other foreign country, they would almost certainly read Benjamin Franklin's autobiography. And it's a bit ironic in a way that he is perhaps better known as an American writer outside this country than he is within this country, because many Americans have never read his autobiography at all. But certainly if you studied American literature in an international setting, this would almost certainly be on the book list for your reading. Enjoy it. It's a very well-known piece and one that I think is inspiring still today.